everybody for being here today. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know we have colleagues as well as guests, interested applicants from all over the world today. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And today you are attending the Connections Through Culture Grants 2024 by the British Council. And this is the information session for the grant. So today is 18th of July. And before I begin with all the information regarding the grant, I'd like to go through some housekeeping rules. And this session will last for about 1 hour. There will be a presentation for around 30 minutes, and the rest of the time will be for Q&A. The session will be recorded and shared on the British Council channels after the session. So if you do not wish to be recorded, please switch off your video and keep your microphones on mute. We will send a link to the recording and a PDF of the presentation to all attendees after the meeting. Please mute yourself when not speaking to the group, or someone will switch off your mic if you forget to do so. Do try to pay as much attention as possible to all the information that's being delivered by myself during the presentation. And if you have any questions, do put them in the chat box. Most likely, I will be addressing most of your questions already while I'm doing the presentation. But if we haven't touched on something specific, please put that on the chat box, so we'll address it. Or during the Q&A, you can actually ask your questions by raising your hands using the raise hand function, and allow us to call on you to unmute yourself before asking your questions. If you're not able to get to your question, or if they are too specific to your contacts and your project, please drop them into the inquiry form that we've prepared. My colleague will be sharing this on the chat. This form is already prepared to receive all questions, and all our country teams are already assigned to be addressing these questions. And if you're interested in applying for this grant, you must have a good level of English or have support from someone with a good level of English, either a translator or interpreter, when needed, to ensure that communication is smooth and understood. So again, those that have just joined us, my name is Erica. And I will be your presenter for today. Joining me on this call are my colleagues, Florence, the head of arts and creative industries from Malaysia. Khadija will be on the chat. She will be the one who's sending you all the links. So pay attention to these links that will be important. If possible, have a notepad, have a Word document open so you can, pop these links onto, a free document so that you can actually go through it, after the presentation. And also joining us from British Council Australia, Arts Manager of Australia, is Anna. She will be attending to most of your questions on the chat box as the presentation goes along. Thank you. All right, so is everybody good and ready? All good? Khadija, all good? Okay. All right, so I'll start with the Connections Through Culture grant. What is it? So it is an open call for artists, cultural professionals, and creative practitioners, as well as organizations of the arts and culture realm. Hubs, networks, and collectives are also considered. Yeah. The primary objective of this grant is to support new connections and exchanges, as well as collaborations between the UK and Asia Pacific in arts and culture. These grants will support UK and Asia Pacific country applicants to work collaboratively on digital, face-to-face, or hybrid artistic projects. If I could ask you to please mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you. And for projects that are interested to apply to our Connections Through Culture grants, the projects have to run between December 2024 until October 2025. Our fund transfer, if you are selected, if you are awarded our grant, the funds will be transferred by January 2025. Application deadline for you to apply, to submit your application, it has to be by or before 2nd September 2024. 11:59 p.m. GMT. Okay, this is GMT. So be very aware of the time differences that may occur in your country. So in terms of who are the Asia Pacific partner countries that we are opening this grant call to, it could be a UK collaborating with an Australia, New Zealand, Bangladesh, mainland of China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Vietnam. For Australia and New Zealand partnerships, we are granting grant values up to £5,000. And for the other countries, the other listed Asia Pacific countries, the grant values are up to £10,000. Again, this grant is open to individual artists, cultural professionals, creative practitioners, or for cultural organization, hubs, networks, collectives based in the UK or in any of the eligible Asia Pacific countries featured in this program. So between the two partners, a project lead applicant must be agreed upon. So it's either the UK partner or the Asia Pacific partner that will be the lead applicant. Yeah, what does that mean? The lead applicant will be the individual or organization that will be contracted and receiving the grant transfer. So you'll be the one who is administrating the grant transfer. Most of the reporting, the contact, and contact between British Council in-country teams that will be managing your grant project will be liaising with the lead applicant. So due to our office's foundation status in Thailand, grants can only be processed through the Thai partner. So the lead applicant will still resume all the roles that I mentioned earlier, together, of course, in support together with the counterpart applicant. But for Thailand's purposes, we will have to process the grant through the Thai partner, okay? So what can the grants be used for? The grants usually assist and support in the delivery of projects that can be digital, face-to-face, or hybrid. These are some of the examples of projects that we have received and we continue to support and look forward to receive proposals from. So these can be residencies, exhibitions, festivals, workshops, performances, screenings, any projects that focus on digital innovation, conferences, panels, and talks, creative use of archives, research and development of future project ideas, or publications. So the key themes that we're looking for in terms of your proposal, we will support the process, support grants that look into the process in developing new projects of artistic expression and creativity. We will also look at supporting collaborative project activities that includes exchange of skills, knowledge, and practice. We also look at co-productions, for example, for new content. So the themes that we are going to be while we accept all the applications covering all art forms, the themes that we will be looking at in terms of prioritizing during the final decisions would be these two themes, diversity and inclusion, as well as climate change. So all themes are welcome, but these two themes are prioritized. Are you eligible? And this is usually the most questions that we have from the floor during these info sessions. So I would urge that you pay attention to these upcoming 3 slides specifically on eligibility. So each application must comprise of at least 1 UK partner and 1 Asia Pacific partner from the eligible list, from the countries that I've actually mentioned just now. So both individuals and organizations are eligible to apply. Yeah. If you are an organization applying, you should be registered in the UK or in any of the eligible Asia Pacific countries that I have mentioned. So, to take as an example, if you are an organization or an individual that is based in the UK and you want to apply as a UK partner, you must make sure that primarily the activities that you're doing, the person who's applying or the organization that's applying, most of your activity, your work, your projects, your programs, they must be in the UK, and you should have a valid registered address and bank account in your name in the UK. And the same goes for Asia Pacific individuals and organizations. At the time of your application, you must be based in one of these countries, yeah, and your primary activity must be running in these countries, and you should have also a valid registered address and bank account in your name in the said country. Okay, funding bodies are not eligible for this grant. So proposed projects must be projects for arts and culture or creative sectors. So we do not specifically sort of define which one you have to have, like art forms. We welcome all of it, but your project must be in nature and at the core about the arts, culture, or the creative sectors. So any of these art forms that's listed here, from architecture all the way to visual arts, theater, dance, music, literature, film, all of them are welcomed. We also welcome proposals that crosses art forms. So if you have multi-art form projects, that is very much welcome. We are also welcoming projects that are relevant to the creative economy. Sorry, who if you can put your mic on mute, that would be really helpful. Khadija, if you could help me mute that, that would be excellent. Thank you. So projects with relevance to even the creative economy are also welcome. So it could be sector policy writing, research in terms of an economic, benefits or economic impact of a certain sector. That is also welcome. And like beyond the cross art forms, we are also looking at welcoming projects with cross-disciplinary sort of framework. So you've got the arts, you can combine that with science and tech and agriculture. So it really depends on what you might want to concentrate on in your project, but that is very much welcome in terms of as long as it's combined with the arts and culture. So project proposals must have a timeline ending no later than 31st October 2025. So that means that when you plan your project, make sure that your project reporting is actually being done in October. If possible, to leave yourself enough time for that reporting period as well, so that everything can then close by 31st October 2025. A complete application will need to be submitted, must be received by 11:59 p.m. GMT on 2nd September 2024 via the submittable application site. So we're using a platform to receive all your applications, and that platform is called Submittable. So make sure that you are aware of that. I will go through a little bit more about the platform itself in a little while, okay? So what do we evaluate the proposals upon? So these are the 4 criteria that we're looking at when we assess your proposals. The project proposal must be of high artistic and creative quality. It should be innovative in its approach and has considered how the project might continue even after this year of delivery. If it's something that could be also replicated in other countries within the region, that will earn you more points in terms of the quality criteria. For partnerships, we're looking at proposals that are mutually and equally benefiting both geography, both the UK as well as the Asia Pacific applicants, beneficiaries. So we are looking at, all the activities to potentially happen in both countries, or at the very least accessible by both countries, either digitally, through hybrid, or physically. In terms of management, we are expecting projects to be well planned and resource and demonstrates equitable use of the budget. So when you go through your budget with your project partner, make sure all the per diems are allocated, travels are allocated, even bank fees are allocated. Accessibility as well needs to be, backed with budget and funding so that at the point of you either administering or delivering your project or at the point of showcase, your project is accessible to your intended audience. Translation and also sign language, for example. So diversity, inclusion, and environmental sustainability is the last criteria that we're looking at. And we would like proposals to be able to address these key thematics or these key, areas of work. So in terms of timeline, we are looking at applications again to be submitted on the submittable portal. The deadline is 2nd September 2024, 11:59 p.m. GMT. Evaluation will happen between September and October, and this will be done by all the country teams involved. The outcome will be communicated via email on the 31st of October 2024. We will look into starting to contract successful applicants by the end of December, and payments will be made 30 days following the receipt of your invoice. So hence why the funding will only be available, potentially transferred into the lead partner's applicant's individual or organization account by January. Yeah. So we are also, once we have done all of those administrative, contracting and making sure that, all of that has been sorted, we will be hosting an orientation session for all the successful grantees in January. And the grant delivery will then be delivered between December 2024 to October 2025. So grant project completion, again, be reminded that it should be completed by 31st October 2025. And the reporting, like I said, must be done by the end of the project. But throughout the duration of your delivery, each country team will also be, checking in along the way. And by the 5th month, usually around May, June, there is an interim report that we would want the grantees to submit as well. If your projects are a year long, for example, if your project is only 3 months long, for example, then, you won't be doing the interim report. You go straight into the final report. But if it's longer, then we're looking to do more check-ins along the way. So in terms of the application form itself or the application task that the partnerships will have to come together to do, we always advise that both counterparts read the application toolkit and FAQ that we have prepared. They are available for downloads already. We have also prepared the application questions, because we are getting everybody to submit their answers in submittables, key in input all their answers in submittables. We have actually extracted those questions, and we also have a downloadable version that you and your project partner can already go through now and prepare prepare your answers to those questions. Then you can actually, upload those, after the discussion, for example. So do try to do that together with your project partner. Form your collaborative ideas, plan your time to submit the or input your answers into submittable in English, because it can be quite time consuming, or you don't want that to creep up, in the last few days of the deadline. So do that as early as you can, and always read through the guidance very carefully. And in doubt, if anything, go back to the toolkit, go back to the FAQ, or drop your question, your very specific question, into the inquiry form that that we will be addressing, because we will have your email address through that form, and we will respond back to you. So the portal itself, the platform itself. So Submittable is an external website where we are where we are using to actually collect all these applications. The link is on the application toolkit as well as on our website. When you're ready with all your answers and all and all the attachments like your CVs, your more breakdowns, timelines, all those details you want to upload, there will be a space within the platform where you can upload all of this. And a copy of, like I said, the copy of the application form is already on our website, so you can actually download that already and already have your preliminary discussions with your partners. Yeah. So when you're good and ready, you must create a Submittable account. If you do not already have an account on Submittable, you have not ever actually submitted to any of British Council grant, most likely you won't have a Submittable account. But if you don't have an account, please make sure that you create one, because you can't view the application form that is on the platform until you have actually opened that account. Yeah. So it's always advisable to also keep, like I said, your offline copy, so you can already use the copy that we have on our website. You download them and you make sure you have that offline one, so you can prepare that before you go into the portal. So if there are questions or concerns, any technical sort of hiccups that might happen on the Submittable account itself, there is a help page and there is a support email link on the platform as well. If you want somebody to, like, why is this button not functioning, for example, that's something that Submittable has to address. But if you still don't get any responses from Submittable, if you have waited for, 2 days now and nothing's happened, so please reach out to us, contact us using the inquiry form, and we will get to you ASAP. All right. So one other thing to note, when you access the portal and when you have accessed the application form, there will be a privacy notice there where we will require you to agree, because through your submission, through your application, we will be collecting and keeping your information for the purpose of the grant application. And if you are selected, we will be using, for example, your name, your company name, links that are relevant to announce that you have been selected, for example. So to complete the application form, here are a few notes that we usually share with our potential grantees or potential applicants, that, these are the things to watch out for. These are the things that you need to prepare before you attempt the online application form. So almost all questions in the new applicant in this 2024 application form is similar from the previous one. Please be aware that your contact details as well as your partners will be required. CVs are also required. Portfolio links are also welcome. So there will be all these spaces, all these, prompts, I suppose, to be asking, links to your social media or links to your portfolio, if you've gathered all of that in a Google Drive, for example. We're also requiring that partners, the counterpart, the lead applicant and the counterpart, right? So we are also requiring that partners have a letter of agreement that you are prepared to be working together on this project, that you are aware that this is happening, that you are, ready to embark on this project, a collaborative project together. The Submittable form lets you also save your drafts as you go along. And please make sure that all your details are correct before you submit because once you press the submit button, further editing will not be permitted. One good feature that would be probably useful for applicants, yeah, for the core applicants, is that the platform, the submittable platform, actually has a collaboration function where you can invite your partner to collaborate on the writing of the form itself. Yeah. So the link is visible on the top right hand corner, and it says invite collaborators. Once you click on that, you input the email, then you and your collaborator can then actually do the submissions together if that's what you prefer to do. And the application, again, be reminded that it must be in English. So these are a few tips. I will quickly run through some of these. These are just questions that you and your partner might want to consider when you're thinking about your project. What exactly are you going to do? How and why? Who are your stakeholders? When will you be doing this? What is innovative and unique about your proposal? What are your short-term and long-term impacts that you're trying to achieve with this project? Make sure that all of your, plans and timeline are detailed with the activities and who will be doing it, so that there is clarity between the partners. In terms of your budget, you can sometimes people get a bit tripped up with what other items that can be in the budget. So we have prepared a project budget template already, and this is also downloadable on our webpage. And this should be completed with the estimates amounts in GBP, yeah, in pounds. Okay. So what to consider when you are, embarking on the new project partnership, always ask yourselves, within the team, are your values and the ways of working aligning, between yourself and your partner? How are you going to be working, in terms of time zones, in terms of equitability, the workload within the timeline that you're proposing. And if you are selected as a project, as the lead partner, like I mentioned, the British Council staff in country, yeah. For example, for myself, I'll be liaising with the project leads for the UK Malaysia projects. Yeah, we will be your first point of contact for support in terms of any risk or issues that arises for your delivery, your timeline, your budget, your partner, and your other wider stakeholders or collaborators. And really focus on also thinking about who your target audience is. How are you going to reach them? Will it be online, offline? Do you have any other collaborators that you want to include into your program? And what are you, how are you reaching them? Is it accessible to your intended audience? Yeah. So not all projects could end up in a public audience or participatory by public communities. So it really depends on what your project will be. And if, for example, if it's a research, it may not be a public forum in person, but maybe it could be a more of an online forum, So really think about how you can best reach the intended audience that you're trying to impact. I think not long now. I will finish, I believe this might be my last slide, second last slide. So like I said earlier, think about access support, think about accessibility. And these can be thought about in a few stages. One is, within your project team, do you need accessibility requirements? Think about accessibility for your audience as well. And if you do require accessibility support to submit this proposal, It is not a given that we will be able to guarantee that you will be supported with additional costs. But the idea here is that we will be doing everything we can to support your needs. So if you are a person with disability that requires accessibility support, please contact us through the same inquiry form, because the inquiry form does ask what kind of inquiry do you have? Do you have a general inquiry, or do you have, accessibility requirement support needs? Yeah. So do contact us via the inquiry form so that we may be able to support you and offer you potentially, additional funding to support you with the application itself. But be sure to write into us and don't assume that that support is just there. So do write into us, tell us, and then we will be able to address it on a case-by-case basis. And lastly, a quick note about the other policies that you will be coming across. If you are selected as one of the grant recipients, please be aware that British councils have policies that you will have to observe and have to action depending on the nature of your project. If it involves children or vulnerable adults, we will probably go through with you, have workshops with you, go through the policy with you and understand the needs, your EDI or your safeguarding needs for your particular project. So be aware that these are all applicable. Lastly, submission must be done by the 2nd of September. And any inquiries, again, as a reminder, please drop it in the inquiry form. And for technical support on submittables, please refer to submittables. And if not, do let us know how we can help. Apologies, a little bit of a hiccup. So I think I'll end my presentation there, and we will go straight into the questions and answers section. And I'll pass the session on to Florence.
Thank you very much, Erica. Thank you for the colleagues for helping on the chat. There's been many questions. I would like to prioritize questions that have not been already asked. So I'm ready to answer, but in case there are questions that I cannot answer, please bear with us because we don't necessarily have the answers to everything. And we would, again, direct you to the inquiry form where we would have consultation to ensure that we provide you the proper answer. It's better to spend some time thinking about the answers rather than giving something that is not accurate. So bear with us on this. And if I will ask my colleagues to support with answers as well. So I see a first hand. I'm sorry, I cannot see the names for some reason.
So it's Luis Gomez. Go ahead, Luis.
Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Thank you.
Right. Hello, thank you very much for this presentation. It was really interesting. I wasn't aware of this call before, so we're definitely thinking about this. I'm calling from the University of Glasgow. We're an institution here. But my question very directly to do with the budget costings. So I've looked through your toolkit and through your Excel for the budget. I haven't looked into great detail, had a perusal. But does this fund cover mostly, or is it exclusively for materials and travel, or does it include things like artist fees?
No, yes, it does include. In fact, we encourage you to put in your artist fees because we consider that artists should be paid. So yes.
So do I. But just to be clear, that's included. I'm very glad to hear that.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And is there a table of what you consider a viable fee for an artist? Is there kind of a guidance on that, or depends on the country or the artist?
No, we don't really have specific guidance, but you have to do it within reasons, obviously,
Yes,
where,
of
you
course.
know, it cannot be 100% artist fees, and
Of course,
you know,
of course.
you have to be,
Mhm.
you know, use your
No, of course.
yeah.
No, I'm asking because I've worked with different institutes, the Portuguese Camões Institute, and they have a limit of what they pay as a
Sure,
fee and things like
sure.
that. So that's all right.
Yeah, that's a good
Thank
point,
you.
actually, but thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Louise.
Erica.
The next one, we have Jim. Go ahead, Jim. Are you still on the call, Jim?
No, you put the hand up.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Yes, I'm still on the call.
Sorry.
Yep,
Yes.
Jim's there.
Can you hear me now?
We
Sorry.
Yes,
want
go
to-
ahead.
So I'm a filmmaker and composer based in the UK, and I will be looking for partners in a variety of countries, and it's a project about Indigenous people and the environment. Is there any help at all available from the British Council in finding appropriate partners for a project like this? They could be filmmakers, for instance.
So while the British Council is not our role, we cannot be making those connections for you. It is something that, you know, as applicants, you have to do. We can, what I suggest you do is that you send your inquiries to the country teams, and we will aim to direct you into some directions. But you know, you will have to go through the process of making that connection yourself. But we can give you the start of a direction to look into and to give you some organizations. But I must say that we will not be sharing for data breach. We will not be sharing personal emails of people that we have not contacted, who have not given their consent. So you also have to understand our limitation here. Thank you. Is that answering your question?
Yes, it is. And where would I find a list of and contact for all the country teams that you mentioned?
So Jim,
So-
if I may jump in here, if you could go to the inquiry form and have that specific question, and then you say this specific question is for which country, then that country team will address, you know, will be able to pick that question up, and then we'll respond to your email.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Florence. Shall we go to the next one, hey?
Mhm.
All right. So we've got Wenxia. Wenxia, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
hear
can.
you.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Hello.
thank you for your information. So now I have a question because my nationality is Chinese, but now I'm doing my PhD in Wales and it's my third year. So I want to ask if I apply for this project. So would I be eligible to apply as a representative of the UK? I mean, if I find a partner, can I find another partner or come from mainland China? So who should I, or I should find a partner from UK? Because I'm located in UK.
You are located, but that's a
I got a
temporary.
student visa. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a student visa, a temporary
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-mm.
Anyone wants to chip in on this one? Anna, what is your experience with a case like this?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, because I'm my nationality is Chinese, but
Mhm.
now I'm doing my PhD in Wales, and I'm located in UK. So I mean, if I want to apply for this fund, should I just find a partner from mainland China, and I apply as a representative of UK? Is that okay?
It's a pretty specific question. It's really dependent on would you say your practice is mainly in the UK?
Yes, because I'm doing my PhD and it's I've done a lot of cross-culture communication activities in UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that I can do this kind of things. All these activities are mainly in UK.
Okay, so I would say yes, depend if you can, if it's really clear that you are based in the UK, you consider yourself as a UK individual at the time of the project, during the project's lifetime,
yes.
then you should be considered the UK applicant.
Yeah, this time I'm still got my visa. You till the end of this project, no problem.
Yeah, so I think because you've got a very specific scenario there, it's probably best to because we can connect you through to the China Arts team. If you just go through that inquiry form, we'll send your directory straight to the China Arts team, so you can get a bit more of a insight into what.
Yeah, I think for this case, thanks, Anna. I agree. I think for this very specific scenario, you would need to reach out to the China team, and they can make their decision. They can advise you better.
Okay.
Sorry for this one. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. So should I contact them or?
Yes. So you just have to you just have to go into our inquiry form.
Okay.
It's been put on the chat. Khadija has posted it on the chat, and you can just type in your question, and within 8 days, your question will be assigned to the China team and responded to.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Florence. Thanks, Anna. So we've got a few more hands up. We've got Caleb next. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hello. I've got two questions. One is I work for an organisation with multiple work streams, and so there'd be different staff members from the different areas of work who might be interested in projects. Can one organisation make multiple applications, or is it only one application per applicant?
I'm very sorry, your sound was not very clear to me. Do you mind to repeat? I heard that your organization has different work streams.
So we work across a number of different art kind of forms and activities. So if we had different staff members as the main applicant, could our organization make multiple applications?
By right, you're supposed to have one application per project. So yeah, because if you have multiple applications, unless they are with different partners, different projects, and you can apply multiple, but you will only be awarded one grant. I hope I answered your question.
And your second question, Caleb? Do you have a second one?
Second question was just around if further funding could be sought from other sources to support a project. So if the project looked like it was like the New Zealand grant is for 5,000, if we thought we needed funding on top of that, can we seek funding from other sources to support it?
Yes, you can. We just would like to know which organization you're seeking the funding from, because of due diligence. We need to do some due diligence check on that third-party organization. So you would need to tell us that you are applying for, that you've been approved on another source of funding. You tell us which organization. We need to do due diligence on that organization. And if it passes the due diligence test, then there's no problem.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gordon, for the question. So we have Namu next. Namu, go ahead.
You're on
Namu,
mute.
you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question about the main residency, because my partner, my Australian partner, half of the time they're in South Africa and half of the time they're in Australia. So can I consider them as my Australian partner because their residency is kind of half and half. Their nationality is Australian.
And you are a UK applicant. You would be the UK applicant.
Yes.
So, I mean, Anna is on the call. Maybe she wants to take that one.
Hi. Sorry, can you just repeat that? You're saying that the other applicant is based between South Africa and Australia. Where is their, primary activity?
Their primary activity has been in Australia and New York so far, but they just recently moved to South Africa, so they're kind of coming back and forth.
May I, if I may, Anna,
Go
Namu,
for it, yes.
if your project is like, are you going to be implementing activities in Australia?
That's
I think
my plan.
that's another thing,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, look, if the activity is between the UK and Australia, and it doesn't involve South Africa, so you're saying the partners that are running the project it will be in Australia, but they also travel to South Africa how often? A couple of weeks, or it's really if you can just determine that they're based in Australia, their organization is registered in Australia, has an Australian ABN. You might just need to determine that first.
Okay.
But
what does ABN mean?
The Australian business number.
Oh, okay, I see.
But yeah, if you want a bit more,
should have a business, not an individual.
I would assume so. If they are an organization in Australia, they will have an ABN. But I suggest, just because it's a bit of a specific question, if you just fill in that inquiry form, your inquiry will be sent to me, and then I can email you directly just so we can have a bit more clarity.
Great, thank you.
That's okay. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Namu. Thanks, Anna. All right, next we have Sin Chen. Go ahead, Sin Chen.
Hi, I just want to have a quick question about if the applicant is still student at the time of application, are they eligible to apply this fund?
So this application for this grant is actually meant for artists, practicing artists, upcoming mid-career artists. So it is not necessarily meant for student. However, let's say an artist is undertaking furthering their study, then that's a different scenario. But if you are straight a student still coming out of, you're still studying, you've never practiced before, then it is not applicable.
Okay, yes, thank you. Understand.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Christina on the call as well, having her hands raised. Go ahead, Christina.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me now? Hello there. Sorry, I joined very late. We are currently having an action reviewed. We apply for a project in India. So based on our recent experience, my question is for the country being for this round, do we need any specific documentation from the country? Because we find ourselves with a bit of a problem last time. Because we didn't know about the FCRA requested for charities in India, but then it came up that the majority of charities in India do not have this FCRA documentation. Only the big charity have it. So I think we sorted this out because at the end of the day, our partners were not a charity; they are a partner, a business. So we managed to go ahead. My inquiries is in the case we decide to go ahead with a project for Malaysia, for instance, or any other country? Is there a link where we can double check if specific documentation are requested before we start to the process? Because otherwise it can be a bit scary once we've done all the job, finding out that we need extra things.
Okay, so obviously we are not in a position to answer for each country with their each country, they have their own specific, and I'm aware of the situation in India, you know, so, but I'm not in a position to answer for India. So again, I'm sorry, but my answer is going to be that because this is a specific inquiry, again, on legal matters, the country teams would be the best place to tell you that. So what I'm suggesting you do is, because you're saying you could apply to Malaysia and other countries. Did I hear that right?
No, if I will apply to Malaysia in the future for this grant, for instance, if I'm going to apply, if there's someone I can ask for this legal requirement, for instance, before even we start the application process, because otherwise we end up like last time, we end up working for 2
so
months.
if it's Malaysia, I can tell you that there is no requirement by law, such as what happens in India. No, so you can apply.
That's a very good news. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks, Christina. Thanks for the question. And then
Thank
we've
you.
got Claire on the line. Are you ready with your question, Claire?
Oh, hi, thanks a lot. Yeah, I think you may have already answered this. Like, I've got a couple of questions, if that's okay. So the first one is, so if you were successful with this pot of funding, would it be okay to use that for match funding? Or as match funding, rather?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like for something like Arts Council, for example. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
that's
yes.
great. And the next one was, I know that in the chat they've just said, oh, you know, we can't find a partner for you, but as an individual artist, I find it quite difficult because I know exactly what I want to do, but it's just like really, really difficult. I've kind of got a ready-made project, but it's like finding because I understand that the partner can be another artist, like an individual in another country, or they can be the organisation. Is that correct?
Yes, it can be. Yes.
Right. Okay. So I just find it really difficult because it's quite specific to certain countries. This thing, but it's got massive scope. And I just find it difficult.
Yeah.
Trying to connect with people because I don't know people in these countries.
Of course.
Obviously.
And like I said earlier, you know, I think that this is also part of the reason why we're here and then we can help is that if you are able to identify the countries that you would like to apply for, let's say you want to apply for a collaboration with a Malaysian artist, then you can write to us, me and Erica and Khadija, our team on the ground, and give us a description of what the profile of the artist or organization that you're looking for. And then, you know, we will be responding to you with the best of our knowledge of what we know on the ground.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So if it's not Malaysia, you know, you can again go to the inquiry form and say, I would need to connect with the team in whatever country in order to get some information about artists, individual organizations. I mean, be a little bit specific about what you're looking for, and then, you know, then they will get in touch with you and help you with that.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Claire. All right. In the interest of time, we've got 4 more hands up. Next one is Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, it's just a quick question. I just wanted to understand what was meant by new, because we're just piloting a very small connection to an arts organisation in Australia, and our idea would be to develop that further next year. It's not, this initial contact isn't funded by British Council, so it wouldn't be an entirely new connection, but it would be a development and it would be new to British Council funding.
Anna, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Sorry, let me just think about that. So the project already exists.
It hasn't started yet. It'd just be a pilot this summer. Like, yeah. So yeah.
So what element? So the element that you'll be applying for is new?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it, let me give you an example. So there are two partners who have already collaborated in the past. They've made a work. They're touring that work to Australia after they've collaborated, touring the work to Australia. But they've decided when they come to Australia, they want to create workshops, do a symposium alongside that work being presented. So they will apply for the new element of that, which is the symposium and the workshops alongside the performance. So they're not applying for the performance, which is not new because you've already established that together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So we'd just be, at the moment, we're a poetry organisation and we're doing a simple poet exchange between poets in Australia and UK. So it'd just be growing something. We've never had contact before. So it's okay to be it doesn't have to be a new partner, it just has to be a new project. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for example, if you're running a poetry sort of workshop and you've done it in the US before, and then you're deciding to take it to Australia and you have some new partners, you're developing it in a new way, it's a new place for you to present that work, I would say that would be considered a new element of the project. Okay,
it would be the same partners in Australia, but yeah, we can work it out. We can talk to the partners.
Yeah, and yeah, as we're saying, if you want to chat to me in more detail, just go through that form and then you'll be connected to me if it's an Australian partner.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. So I see we've still got 6 more hands. Colleagues, are we okay with extending it for another 5-10 minutes to try to get through all the hands?
Yes, but yeah, we will need to
stop at some point.
Stop it at some point, because if not, we're going to be here for
yeah. So maybe try to keep all the answers really precise and all the questions also really precise. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Nisha.
Hi, I posted my question on the chat group, but somehow it doesn't seem to want to go through. Anyway, I wanted to ask, I applied through a UK partner for the BC ICG 24 grant earlier, but the results will only be out in September. Could I apply for this grant now with a different partner for a different project in case I don't get that ICG grant?
Yes.
I can.
Yeah, the answer is
all
yes.
right. Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Nisha. All right, we'll go to the next one. Martha?
Thank you. Yes, actually, I think it was Nisha that asked actually the same question. I'm working with a partner in Vietnam and we still waiting for the other grant, but we would like to, with the same partner organization, submit an application for a very different project in actually a different medium for this grant. And I just wanted to ask if we can.
Yes, you can.
Go ahead. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next one, Dani.
Hi, so this is a short question as well. So I have found a UK partner who is actually an artist, filmmaker. But as for myself, my background is not, I won't identify myself as a strict artist, where I'm actually an activist who doing a lot of campaign in climate change. And we try to collaborate with artists. So in this case, am I eligible to apply?
The output of the project will be an artistic output, correct?
Yeah.
So yes, you are eligible.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Dani. And we have Kazimir. Kazimir?
Oh, hello. Hey, it's working now. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we
Go
can.
ahead.
Nice, thank you. The idea of the outcome. So what's an exciting artistic outcome to the British Council? So this is a very general question, but based on the idea of the Arts Council, they look for their investment principles. What's the equivalent that the British Council is looking for? What's exciting to you guys? You're reading
Okay,
an
so
application, you go, wow, that's amazing.
artistic quality is something that will be considered in the as a criteria. Innovation is going to be also part of the selection, but also equally importantly is how the project will benefit to the artists involved and to the beneficiaries of the project. And I think the impact that the project can have on people is equally important.
Impact on the community you're engaging with,
Yes,
just the
yes.
artists, the country.
It can be at different levels, but as long as you are able to demonstrate the kind of, this is really going to change the way we practice as two partners, or whether it's going to be at an organization level, or whether it is at a wider community level. But it's really to show that this collaboration is the start of something that could be sustainable, that could grow, that could all this things are the criteria that we are going to go through, of course, together with considerations for EDI, so equality, diversity, and inclusion, and sustainability in terms of also the project carbon footprint. So you have to balance all these criteria. I think if your question is like how to make the best application possible, because I think that's what you're asking, right? Am I right?
Basically, yeah. Tell me,
Yes.
yeah. Basically, feed me. Yeah.
So
feed me the
I think that you really need to read each and ponder on each criteria very seriously. Like really think deep about each criteria and how you can address them the best that you can with the project that you're trying to do. That would be my advice to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Florence.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Kazimir. Next one, we've got Jill.
Yes, hello, good day. Yes, my question is, could you give us advice on the timeline? Because what if it's let's say an ambitious project, and I understand, what if we complete the proposal and submit it by the 2nd of September, but it takes longer? What are your expectations in terms of reporting and completion of the output itself? When do you expect the project to?
So the project's timeline should be January to 31st of October 25.
October 25. Okay. All right.
And since we're on giving advices on applications, that's also something to consider, is to be realistic in terms of feasibility of the project within the budget. It's a small, it's not a huge amount. It's not like ICG. So it's think about how to be feasible and demonstrate that you can, budget wise or timeline wise, it's going to be feasible.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've got one Atika. Go ahead, Atika. You're on mute. We can't hear you. You can unmute yourself. Okay, never mind. Maybe we will go to the last hands, raise hands first. I think Atika's frozen at the moment. Sorry, I'm not able to pronounce your name in Chinese character, but the person with the last hands up, if you could unmute yourself. Yes, go ahead.
Hello. As I'm an artist from China, and I will go to the Royal Arts of College, Royal College of Arts for my MA program, and I found a partner who's a Chinese too, but he is teaching the students in the Dundee University, and can he be the UK partner and I be the Asian partner?
So you are based in mainland China, correct?
Yeah.
There is a terrible echo on my side. Are you all getting that echo, Erica?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So if you are based in mainland China, and the project is going to be in or will take place also in China, and you have a UK partner, correct? So potentially my answer would be yes, but again, it's a specific case, so I would urge you to get into the inquiry form and explain your situation. Who is the partner, who is the lead, who is the UK, who is the mainland China, and let the China team respond to you on this.
And I will go to the UK for my MA program in this September. Will it influence the application?
I think again, this is a very specific case, and I would be inclined to ask you to really check with the China team how they view this.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
So I don't see Atika back in the room, but there's a final hands up, and this the final hands up went missing as well. Atika, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you now. Go
Okay.
ahead. You'll be the last one.
Okay, earlier I was asking about the cultural worker. So we are coming from an organization that working with a community of faith in Penang. So our intention, we hope to develop an Anglican church trail. So it's lesser about art, but more about the culture history of Penang. And we hope to work with a partner from the UK. So basically, that's what we intend to do, and it's actually have very least to do with art. And how do we approach this through the grant? Are we still eligible, or how do we go about that?
It's going to be a cultural project, correct?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
No, it's still you are eligible.
So far through the partnership, we are not involving any artists, but we are incorporating some artistic tools in the program that we'll be developing. But yeah, at the moment, there's no artist involvement lah.
So again, I would ask you to be as specific as possible in the inquiry form, and we will get back to you on this very quickly.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. So, okay, Jean, I see that you've been trying really hard, so I will accept your last final question. So if I can close the floor after Jean, that will be great. So Jean, go ahead. You will be the final question.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Go ahead.
It's a quick question about location. I'm an artist based in the UK, in London, and I will be developing a project mostly in mainland China. Why would you recommend to be the leading partner? Either will be my producer, collaborator, artist in China, or myself, or both. Either one, it's okay to be applying for. That's the first question. And the second is about how many awards going to be given to China and UK collaboration.
Okay, so to your first question, there is no difference. You both can apply as a lead. No difference whatsoever. It's whoever has the capacity to receive the funds and then transfer the funds to the partner. So I think that answers the first question. The second question is about, sorry,
how many applications?
Oh,
will
how many
be
applications in China? So, okay, we get this question a lot. Again, people are trying to see which country will, have the most chances of success. But we can't answer you this because each country has a different budget allocation. And not everybody will be applying for 10,000. So, there are grants that it goes from 5 to 10. So we really can't predict. But I mean, generally speaking, it can in each country, it goes from 6 it can go up to 6, sometimes it goes up to 8, sometimes it goes up to 10 grants. Perhaps even more, depending on but it won't be in the hundreds, that I can tell you that.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Jean. All right, so I'll close the floor now. Thank you, everyone, for all your questions. And thank you, colleagues, for supporting the chat and the live questions. So as a final reminder, if you still have questions, please drop those questions into the forms, into the inquiry form that we've been speaking about throughout the call. In the first instance, if you are, in a hurry to get those answers, most likely they will already be in the toolkit and the frequently asked questions document that can already be downloaded from our website. So all links, all templates, all examples are also on our website already. Thank you, Khadija, for sending in, for putting in all the links that are relevant. So please have a quick, before you sign off from this call, have a quick glance through of all the links, copy them if you can, copy them and paste them into your Word document. We're already 15 minutes over our time, so I hope I can, wish everybody well for today. We will close the session in another 2 minutes so that everybody can, catch what you can from the chat. So thank you again for your attention today, your time today. Have a good evening and a good day wherever you are. Thanks, everyone.